Hello everyone, welcome to WORDCORE. Are you ready to talk all things words? My name is Carolina and today we'll explore the word glacier. We'll look at it from the perspective of nature, branding, architecture, and more. Stay tuned and let's learn some new things together. Right, so I'm not exactly sure how I came around making an episode on the word glacier, but it came to me at some point and fascinated me, and I thought, what better season to make an episode on this word than winter, which is what we're currently in. I also just want to say this is the first episode I'm recording after I've published this podcast on my personal Instagram for my friends to see. So hello to my friends. If you're listening, thank you for being here because you are literally 99% of my audience. So thanks. I couldn't start the episode without reading out the Oxford Dictionary definition of the word, so let's do that. According to Oxford Dictionary, glacier is a large mass of ice formed by snow on mountains that moves very slowly down a valley. Now, glaciers are formed in areas where there's more snowfall than there is meltage, which is obviously something you don't think about on a daily, and it's obviously something we probably all learned in geography class, but for some reason I don't remember it, and I thought you might not remember it as well, so why not refresh our memory and learn some more about glaciers? There are two types of glaciers. One of them is alpine glaciers, which form in the mountains and move downward through valleys, and they are found in every continent except for Australia. And the second type is ice sheets. They aren't only in the mountains, and as ice sheets spread, they cover everything around them with a thick layer of ice. And they even cover the mountains with a thick layer of ice. And most of Antarctica and Greenland are what's called a continental glacier, and those are the largest of ice sheets. The word originates from mid-18th century from the French word glace, which means ice. So hearing that, you might be wondering, where can I see those glaciers? Well, no better place to see glaciers in Patagonia. When I was researching the word, I instantly thought of this area in South America where there's a lot of glaciers and the landscapes look so incredibly beautiful. I have never been, but I would absolutely love to go. There are over 350 glaciers in Argentina specifically. Some of them are part of the Glacier National Park, which extends for over 350 kilometers along the Andes. Now, I'm looking at the images of Patagonia right now, and these glaciers just look phenomenal. It must be an incredible experience to be surrounded by these monumental, bright, majestic, and sharp mass of ice. I feel like one must feel just so small in an environment like this, but I can only imagine how beautiful it is in real life, especially. For some reason, all the pictures I've seen from this area are just bathed in sunlight, so it must feel almost heavenly. Like looking at the pictures, which I'll also post on my Instagram, this looks unreal. So I read a bit about Patagonia, and I guess it feels like one of the most exciting things you could do there are these adventure cruises, because some of the glaciers in Patagonia are not accessible by land and they can only be seen from the water, which allows you to see the glaciers which sort of crumble into the sea, but also the wildlife that is habitating this area, which includes whales and penguins. And these cruises go through this very scenic so-called Beagle Channel, which Charles Darwin, the English biologist, described with the following words. It is scarcely possible to imagine anything more beautiful than the beryl-like blue of these glaciers. The channel with its icebergs present for the space of a mile a miniature likeness of the polar sea. And truly, I believe these words sum up beautifully how magical visiting Patagonia must be, and here's to all of us visiting one day, because sadly the glaciers in Patagonia, and not only there, are decreasing and melting due to the fast and big environmental changes we're now experiencing. So I would recommend hurrying up if you want to visit those and see them in their full glory, which is probably not what it used to be like, I don't know, 50 years ago, even less. But it is important for me to mention this, especially in an episode like today's, because glaciers are suffering. And while we're on the topic of Patagonia, I would also like to talk about the American Patagonia. And obviously, I don't mean a geographical area. What I mean is the outdoor brand founded in 1973, which takes the environment seriously. They, for example, put a lot of measures in place to ensure their supply chain is as environmentally friendly as possible. But there's also other things they're doing to ensure this, which you can see on their website. But what the founder of Patagonia, Yvon Chouinard, did really showed and proved his dedication to saving the planet. So he decided to transfer the ownership of the company not to his wife, not to his children, but to the non-profit organization dedicated to combating climate change. And he said, "Earth is now our only shareholder." I think this quote is so beautiful and powerful, and really it is amazing to see such big actions being taken by influential and wealthy people. So cheers to Yvon Chouinard. I mean, I really think it's incredible to see, considering his background as a mountaineer and an outdoor enthusiast, which led him to start the brand, and now really taking serious actions to help the environment, and it not only being greenwashing and a marketing strategy, but real actions being taken. That is really beautiful to see in a company which takes its name from a beautiful environment which needs our help right now. The brand is also recognized for its unique marketing, which is how it caught my attention in the first place. So by promoting and supplying outdoor sports and adventures, the brand managed to create this very strong community of like-minded people, which in my opinion is really the goal of marketing. If you as a brand can manage to create a community of people who think alike and share your values, I think you have made it. And once they managed to create this community, once Patagonia managed to create this community, they found a great way to advertise their products to them. I'll talk about it more in a second, but before that, I just want to mention that you can also watch this beautiful video on Patagonia's YouTube channel, and it's called What's Next, and you'll see amazing shots there, and you will see what they're aiming to do next with the company after they have transferred the ownership to this non-profit organization. So what Yvon Chouinard did, the founder of the brand, is he came up with this idea of creating Patagonia catalogs to sort of solidify their brand image. So these catalogs included stunning, and I mean absolutely stunning, photographs by renowned outdoor photographers such as Corey Rich, John Russell, and Galen Rowell, with captions inspired by famous writers like Ernest Hemingway. Additionally, some of the photographs published in these catalogs were taken by the customers themselves, which I think only increased their loyalty, and is sort of a full circle of marketing, when the customers buy the brand's products because they believe in what they stand for, and then they are happy, having adventures in the wild, taking pictures, wearing their products. And they end up in the brand's catalogs. That must be, really a full circle moment for the customer as well as for the brand, to see this loyalty around it and the shared values between the customer and the brand. I've posted some of these images, these pictures on my Instagram, and they are absolutely beautiful. Mind you, all these photos were taken in the 80s, and they don't always include a person. They might just be, the nature itself. Like there's this beautiful picture of a mountain, or this could even be a glacier, I'm not sure. And it just looks so monumental. It's this very bright mountain covered in snow, and I guess the sunshine is shining right at it because the brightness is almost blinding. And I feel like what all the pictures from the Patagonia catalogs have in common is showing the grandness of nature, the majestic sizes and overwhelming sometimes landscapes. And when these photographs include a person, it's crazy how small they seem compared to the environment they're photographed in. Like, there's a picture of this mountaineer that's standing on top of a summit above the clouds, and you can't even see anything about this person. All you can see is a figure standing on top of a mountain, and it looks just insane. I would be so scared to be there. And I feel like posting these beautiful photographs really pushes their audience to like do more and try to achieve more in terms of adventures, like not necessarily, you know, being a super renowned mountaineer, but just, you know, doing it for yourself and experiencing adventures in the outdoors for yourself, for your own happiness. That is a really beautiful message, I think, especially combined with their actual care for the environment. That is really the golden sauce of marketing, I think. Patagonia's catalogs are so iconic that they have published a photo album book encapsulating 30 years worth of their incredible marketing. It's titled Unexpected: 30 Years of Patagonia Catalog Photography. So you can only imagine your brand's marketing being so iconic and major that someone wants to publish it into a massive coffee table book. I will say I own nothing from the brand, but I also never knew how dedicated they were to supporting the environment. And I have never heard before, you know, researching for this episode, I've never heard of this incredible marketing that they present, but it's definitely worth looking into. And I'll share some photos on my Instagram, but you can also research Patagonia and definitely check out the video I talked about earlier. It's absolutely beautiful and in a short period of time shows you what the brand really stands for with beautiful imagery. I don't think I've ever said that before, but the way I sort of write and prepare these episodes is I choose a word and then just kind of I let it, you know, lead me wherever it wants to lead me. So we went from glaciers to Patagonia, then the brand Patagonia, where we focused about the marketing. So now I'd like to stay in that area a little bit and talk about another outdoor brand and its marketing strategy that is slightly different to what Patagonia does. Namely, I mean Bogner. It's a skiwear brand with a much more fashion-driven marketing strategy. This one was founded in 1932, so almost exactly 40 years before Patagonia. And this brand's campaigns were completely different to what Patagonia is doing. Bogner's campaigns were very elegant, stylish, and very, very fashionable. They showed sports in a slightly different light compared to Patagonia. Their photographs remind me of Slim Aaron's aesthetics, very stylish images that are so beautiful you almost can't believe they are spontaneous photographies. It makes you think they are part of a scenography, but really this is just the environments Slim Aaron surrounded himself in. Anyway, I'll talk about him probably in another episode because there's so much to talk about here and so many beautiful images to mention. But what the brand Bogner was also very revolutionary for, and you must remember this is like early 40s, early 50s, so not a lot of techwear invented yet. And in 1948, Maria Bogner, the founder's wife, presented trousers made out of stretch material with stirrups, which were later on called Bogners, which only shows how iconic they must have been that this specific type of trousers was called later with their name. What differentiated these trousers was their slim silhouette, which was obviously very elegant and flattering, but they also have stirrups on each foot to prevent the trousers from riding up, which on the other hand made it comfortable and innovative. And this was surely very important. I think that the combination of innovation, which made it comfortable, but also very, very flattering, was very important, especially at the time, because this is a very fun fact I found in the 20s, so like 20, 30 years before the invention of the Bogners. Skiing was considered a very formal occasion, so women used to ski in skirts, which is crazy to think about today. But yeah, clearly this was still quite a formal occasion in the 40s and 50s when Maria Bogner was designing these trousers, because you can really see how elegant and beautiful they are. Maria Bogner, the designer of the Bogners, was a woman with a great sense of style, and she really introduced fashion into ski wear. And her impact in the fashion industry, not only the skiing industry, was so big that in 1951, the Bogners trousers were featured on the cover of GLACIER magazine, the Italian edition, which praised Maria for her design. I think the brand sort of continued with its stylish and fashionable approach to marketing, which you can also see in a movie directed by Willy Bogner, the son of the founders. The movie is from 1964 and it's called Ski Fascination, and it emphasizes the beauty of alpine skiing with chic, beautiful fitted costumes, synchronized choreographies on the slopes, on the skis, and lovely music. So I'd recommend you check that out. It's really cool to watch, and I feel like you really can see the bloodline of Bogner, the brand, in it. Chic, sporty, and cool. I just came up with that. I don't know what their kind of motto is, but it really is chic. It's definitely sporty, and to me, it's also really cool. The brand is, of course, still in business today, designing the most beautiful, chic, and elegant ski wear. I saw this one skiing suit with like zebra print on it, and it's just so beautiful. So let's hope one day I'll be able to own one and actually wear it on the slopes. That would be so amazing. Imagine you're climbing Mount Blanc via the most popular so-called normal route. Before reaching the summit, the rooftop of Western Europe, there's only one more stop you need to make. Suddenly, you see it. An egg-shaped 4-story building which looks like it's straight out of space. A missing spaceship situated at almost 4,000 meters above sea level, right above a precipice. The steel panels covering the building are reflecting the sun rays, creating an almost blinding sphere of brightness. It's Refuge du Goûter you're seeing. It's where you spend your final night before summiting Mount Blanc. Okay, everyone, I hope you liked this little storytelling intro I did into our architecture segment of the episode. We're here to talk about Refuge du Goûter, which is a building built in 2013. It's a refuge on Mount Blanc, and it is absolutely remarkable for its extraordinary combination of design and technology, which were both curated to withstand the extreme alpine conditions, considering it's at literally 4,000 meters above sea level. You can only imagine how extreme it gets there. The ovoid form of the building is optimal against strong winds, which can blow as fast as 300 kilometers per hour there, and the pressure of the heavy layers of snow, which obviously can accumulate at the rooftop of the building. Looking at the view from inside the hut, you'll see Glacier de Bionnassay, and looking at the building from the outside, you'll see many of its windows, and what seems like windows, but actually it is not. It's solar panels. This and other energy autonomous solutions contribute to the building's high environmental standards, which kind of combines it with, Patagonia and its efforts to help the environment. The views surrounding the hut must be incredible, as well as the whole experience of spending the night in the hut. However, probably compared to the actual summiting of Mount Blanc, which takes place after spending the night at the refuge, sleeping at the refuge is probably not the best and the most exciting part of it, but still, to me, it is. Because I'm not an alpinist and I would never dare to, summit a mountain like this. But, the thought of spending a night at 4,000 meters above sea level in a hut surrounded by snow and probably clouds and beautiful views is exciting. But probably to the mountaineers, it's a lesser excitement, but still. On the hut's official website, there are 3 webcams where you can see real-time footage from around the hut. I'll also post some of those on my Instagram. So I encourage you to go and also see photos of the hut itself, which really just looks like this spaceship situated almost at the top of Mount Blanc, which is also considered the rooftop of Western Europe. Alpinism is something that scares me entirely, and I am not fit for doing that, but I admire the courage of people who do it and people who climb those very, very, very tall mountains. But it's just not for me, I think. Well, I know for sure this is not for me, just like any other extreme sports. I hope this episode has transported you into a bright, icy winter wonderland in the world of glaciers and mountains. This episode was definitely a little lighter on the art side, and a bit, I can't quite really describe it. It was a little bit all over the place, but I hope you enjoyed it and kind of felt a little cold breeze on your face when you were listening to it. From my side, I'm really excited to go skiing soon and sort of live in the glacier world, although I will not be skiing on glaciers, just regular mountains, but that's still really fun. And I hope one day I'll be able to afford Bogner ski wear and wear it while admiring the glaciers of beautiful Patagonia. And that's what I hope you'll be able to do as well. Whether you choose Bogner or Patagonia or any other outdoor wear, here's to visiting Patagonia for all of us. Anyway, thank you for listening and being here, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye!